Hi everyone, so today we're going to be doing a 2020 election prediction between former Vice President Joe Biden from the state of Delaware and Mr. Trump, who is from New York but currently resides in Washington, D.C. So we're going to go down and put it into the safe and toss-up category just for now so we can fill in the safe states. So Washington, Oregon, California, Hawaii, all safe for Joe Biden. Illinois, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, the District of Columbia. These are all safe states for Joe Biden. New York, Vermont, the 1st District in Maine. These states are all safe for Joe Biden. Also New Mexico, I would now put into the safe Democratic column. Now, let's go through the safe Republican states. So Arizona, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, except for that 2nd district, I'll get back to that, Kansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Mississippi, actually Missouri wouldn't be safe, Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia. So this is kind of where we start off, but there are quite a lot of likely Republican states, so I'm just going to fill those in now. States like Texas. This is a likely Republican state, and especially the only person I think could actually flip Texas is in fact Beto O'Rourke, but even he's kind of a long shot in the state of Texas. Missouri, likely Republican. They just elected a new Republican senator. Same thing with the state of Indiana, same as Missouri. They just elected a new Republican senator. Now, there are three likely Democratic ones. So the state of Virginia, I would move into the likely Democratic column now. Definitely something also to note in the state of Virginia. Out in Colorado, I would also put that into the likely Democratic column. Both these states have been trending Democratic for the last few time cycles. Maine at large, I would also move into the likely Democratic column. That doesn't really need much explanation. One more state I'm going to move into the likely Democratic column. That's the state of Minnesota. Donald Trump came close here in 2016, but that was against a weak Democratic candidate, especially weak in the Rust Belt areas, that being Hillary Clinton. I believe Joe Biden would do a lot better, and it would kind of be in between likely and leaning, but would narrowly slide into that likely margin of 5 to 15%. Now, let's go through some of the leaning states. So the state of New Hampshire, I would lean that towards Joe Biden and the Democrats. Now, reasoning for that, Hillary Clinton was able to carry the state, and that was in a pretty good year for Republicans. They kept the Senate even when they were expected to lose it. They kept the House. They took the presidency even though they were expected to lose it. So 2016 was a good year for Republicans, but the Democrats still held on to New Hampshire's presidential election. I see this one going into the leaning Democratic column. 2 leaning Republican congressional districts. Maine, the 2nd district, I know it voted for the Democrat in the tight congressional district, but that was very, very close. And also Trump won this by double digits in 2016. I see this one going into Trump's column. Same thing with the state of Nebraska. You need a very good Democrat to be able to win there. The only person I see able to win there is in fact Bernie Sanders, and even he is not necessarily the favorite to win against Trump in the 2nd district of Nebraska. So, gone through all those. There's a few more leaning Republican states. I'll start off in the state of Arizona, state that has been trending Republican. It's going to be very close, but I do see this one narrowly going towards Mr. Trump, just because even though it did elect a Democratic senator, and even though it was by 2 points, I see this one being very competitive and narrowly going to Mr. Trump. Joe Biden, really not the kind of candidate to win in the state of Arizona. Georgia, that's going to be very close, but I definitely see Mr. Trump narrowly winning in the state of Georgia, and same thing in the state of North Carolina. Both these states have a high African American population, but in the state of Georgia, Stacey Abrams, who's the perfect kind of candidate, came up a bit short. Again, you can attribute that to voter suppression, but maybe I don't want to get into that. But Joe Biden, even though he is from the Obama administration, very close to Mr. Barack Obama, I still see this one narrowly going towards Mr. Trump, and the same argument is used for the state of North Carolina. High African American population, but probably just going to come up a bit short in beating Mr. Trump in the state of North Carolina. Now, going over to the state of Iowa, that's another state I see leaning towards the president. I see this one being quite close, but not necessarily insanely close, not within 2%. I see this one going towards Mr. Trump. He was able to win here by quite a wide margin back in 2016. They re-elected a Republican governor, I believe. Yes, they did. Even though Democrats picked up 2 congressional districts, they were favored in both of those. And Iowa generally is considered to be kind of moving in a more Republican direction. Now on to a leaning Democratic state. That is the state of Nevada. This is a state I see being quite close, but probably within 5%, not within 2%. I see Joe Biden pretty much carrying this. Not insanely difficult for him to win in the state of Nevada. Now, we have a few states left. We're going to start off in the state of Florida, and then we'll go over into Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin. So the state of Florida, I see this one narrowly going towards the president. Now, some people may say, well, the president, he's kind of popular in the state of Florida, and he is, and that's kind of why I'm giving it to him. Now, I know Barack Obama won it 2 times, but it's kind of been trending Republican. Both competitive statewide offices, the Senate and the governor contests, they both went to the Republicans by quite a slim margin, and Republicans won most of the competitive districts. They did lose Carlos Cuervo's seat, but that's pretty much an outlier. This, again, in a Democratic wave year, in 2018, Florida went for the Republicans, so I see this one going towards Trump, Mr. Trump, and the Republicans. Hi. Sorry about that. Next we have the state of Pennsylvania. Very hotly contested state, but I see Joe Biden actually winning here. He is born in the state of Pennsylvania, and I see that carrying over. And he also is going to be very good, do very good in these Rust Belt states. Ohio, very torn about. I'm not sure. At the moment, I'm going to put it in a tiny lean for Mr. Trump. However, it's so close that I'm going to actually put it in the pure toss-up column. Next, we're going to move on to the state of Michigan and the state of Wisconsin. Both these I see going towards Joe Biden. That makes him the next president of the United States with 278 electoral votes. So my reasoning for both these states are the same. He can appeal to the Rust Belt voters. I see that playing over big time, and I see him winning the presidency against Donald Trump, 278. Now, there's a lot of leaning Republican states, a lot, and I see them being very close. So in a Joe Biden dream scenario, he definitely carries the state of Ohio. He would carry Iowa. I'm actually just going to put this into this just for the sake of it. He would carry Iowa. He would carry North Carolina, Georgia, if I can click it, Florida, Arizona. This is kind of the ceiling kind of thing for Joe Biden. Oh, I could also see him carrying that 2nd district in Nebraska and that 2nd district in the state of Maine. So we're actually going to go back and fill in how we had it before. So Arizona goes Republican, Georgia goes Republican, Florida goes Republican, North Carolina goes Republican, Ohio is a pure toss-up, and Iowa goes Republican. Maine's 2nd district goes Republican. Nebraska's 2nd district goes Republican. There we go. So that was kind of Joe Biden dream scenario. Mr. Trump dream scenario, he would carry Ohio. He would carry Wisconsin. That makes him the next president. He would carry Michigan, and he would carry Pennsylvania. He would carry New Hampshire. And I could actually see him carrying the state of Nevada. So this is a Mr. Trump dream scenario, but we're gonna go back to where we had it so we can. There. Oh, and the state of New Hampshire. There we go. Okay, so we have it 278 for Mr. Biden, 242 for Mr. Trump, and Ohio is a pure toss-up. Thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and I'll see you all in the next one.